Okay guys, so we're going to talk isometrics for a little bit. Now, the main thing you got to think about with isometrics is you've got two key points that you got to focus on. So one is your progression, how you're going to progress that from week to week or day to day, month to month, whatever your progression strategy is. Second is that angle you're working on, okay? So with progression, going back to progression, with progression, you got to think about how you want to progress it. So generally speaking, my reps and sets, or my sets, are going to be pretty high anyway. We're usually talking sort of 5 to 8 sets anyway. We might go a little bit higher, might go a little bit lower sometimes depending on the athlete. Reps, you can't really change too much because you're looking for that sort of 3, maybe 4 reps, 2 to 4 reps, let's say, for the whole time. Okay, so what we can progress through though is we can progress through time held. All right. So generally speaking, how I like to do like a max effort for say 2 seconds week 1, 3 seconds week 2, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, so on and so forth. All right. We're going to keep the time low because it is generally going to be anaerobic alactic, which means it's always going to be under that sort of 8-second mark. In martial arts especially, we're looking for that alactic power, that explosive power. So that's what we want to progress through. If you've got like a grappler, wrestler, jiu-jitsu athlete, anything like that, that they will need to do longer isometric holds, maybe even up against the cage, then we can progress that and we can go into sort of like more muscular endurance, looking for like 10, 15, 20 seconds, okay? But it does take an advanced athlete. They have got to be trained well. They've got to have been on your programs before, and they've got to have done the short periods before as well. We need to know that they can keep exerting the energy maximally throughout the period of time that we're looking for, okay? And we need to know, or we need to make sure it's sport specific. So obviously at 10, 20 seconds, they are going to be getting fatigue, but we need to know that they can handle that in their sport if they are doing that throughout their sport, like isometric contractions in their sport, okay? Next point is the angle. Now we need to focus on the angle. So generally speaking, whatever angle you're working, about 15 degrees above and 15 degrees below is where we're going to get the strength adaptations. So what this means is you're going to have to work throughout different angles for your isometrics. So give the squat, for example, go kind of mid squat or half squat, do some work there, full squat, do some work there, and then just the top half of the squat as well, do some work there. And that's going to make sure we're building strength throughout the whole entire squat movement, squat pattern, and then that's going to transfer a lot more to our dynamic strength as well, okay? If we are struggling with like a lockout in the squat or in the bench, something like that, where we're coming up to the top, we're kind of struggling here, then obviously we would focus on that upper half of the squat more with isometrics, and that's going to help. If we're focused on if we're struggling on getting out of the hole in the squat, right at the bottom, then we'd probably focus on there a little bit more, okay? So remember, you're going to need to progress each one, so you're going to need to think about your progressions for each angle of the movement. Okay guys, now working on the movement, so a big reason why the isometrics are underused as well is because people don't have the equipment or they don't know how to use the equipment, okay? I'm going to show you 3 movements, a squat, a hinge, and a push movement using just a towel, okay? So we're going to start with the squat. So this is just a body towel. You can use a beach towel, is good. The longer the better, because then you can work through your angles with that as well, okay? So starting with the squat, I'm going to get feet about hip width apart. I'm going to make sure my hands at the angle I want to be. There's going to be tension between the towel and my feet. Lock in place, brace the core, and drive. 3, 2, 1. Rest, and drive. 3, 2, 1. All right, making sure I'm not curving over the spine. Make sure that good setup is key here, and make sure I'm keeping that setup position the whole time. Now moving on to the push, okay, or the upper body exercise. So using the towel again, I like to do this one on the floor. Technically, you would be all right doing it standing up as well, and we'd be all right just kind of working from here, pushing, but I like to do it on the floor just because then I'm kind of limiting any sort of overcompensations or any postural issues I'm going to get, okay? So going down to the floor, all I'm going to do, I've got the towel just under my shoulder blades, coming down into position, feet up, same floor press position, and we're just going to drive from here. So come up, 3, 2, 1, relax, and up, 3, 2, 1, and relax, and up, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So now we're going to work on the hinge movement, okay? So this is going to be the same sort of setup as with the squat. We're obviously just going to be in a slightly different position, okay? So from here, Shins are going to be vertical. I'm in this hinge position, so I'm feeling the stretch in my hammies a little bit. Arse is higher than obviously in the squat. And we're just going to pull from here. Basically, I'll focus on driving hips forward into the air. Okay, so from here, a little bit lower and go. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Drive the hips forward. Go. 3, 2, 1, and relax. So that's using the towel guide. So very easy piece of equipment. I'm hoping everyone's got one at home. You can use it at home, take them to the gym, use them there, and then we can basically work on progressions from there, work on progressing the time, rep sets. Obviously I just done two reps of the squat and hinge, done 3 reps on the floor press. That would be 1 set, and then have a rest. I'm basically just resting in between each isometric, just to brace the core again, and then drive again maximally as hard as I possibly can. Hardly any movement, obviously it is isometric, so keep working from there guys. Any questions, drop them below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz. And yeah, have fun.